Today I want to talk about an album that sits slightly outside of what I normally feature on the channel. As many of you know, I tend to focus primarily on classic jazz, jazz funk and jazz fusion. However, over the last few days, there's an album I've been listening to a ton that I really feel compelled to share with you. Now, this type of music might not be everyone's cup of tea, and that's completely fine. But I do think that some of you will appreciate what's going on here. If you enjoy sounds that sit somewhere between neo-soul, jazz, alternative R&B and hip-hop, then this might be right up your street. One of the things that's quite exciting about contemporary music at the moment is how freely different styles are being blended together. You often hear artists pulling influences from jazz, soul, hip-hop and electronic music, and creating these interesting musical collages. Sometimes those combinations result in something truly special, and I feel that this album is a great example of that. The record is called The Pleasure Is Yours, and it's by the collective named GENA. The group is made up of drummer and producer Karriem Riggins and vocalist and rapper Liv. The album was released on the 27th of February 2026. Musically, the project creates a really interesting backdrop for Liv's vocals. You'll often hear hip-hop influenced drum patterns sitting underneath warm electric piano chords, and occasionally some raspy acoustic piano chords as well. There's also a noticeable lo-fi aesthetic running throughout the record, where the sound feels a little bit hazy, almost muddy at times, with a slightly warped texture. It gives the music a relaxed, intimate atmosphere. Even though each track has its own distinct personality, the album as a whole has a very cohesive sound. There's a clear sonic identity running through the entire project, which makes it a really enjoyable listen from start to finish. One of my favourite tracks on the album is Circles. It's a very catchy, mellow and chilled out tune that has an undeniable radio-friendly quality to it. For me, it works really well as a sort of flagship track for the album. It gives you a taste of the vibe and flavour that you can come to expect from the rest of the project. In addition to this, the first track on the album, named Who's Got a Problem with GENA, is just a really cool track with a fantastic vibe. It's got a kind of repetitive edge to the vocals, but it works really well. Another track I've been enjoying quite a lot is How We Flow. This one makes really interesting use of layered vocal harmonies from Liv, creating a slightly off-kilter, almost haunting atmosphere. The drums have this slow, plodding groove to them, and there's also some very effective use of brass sounds that gradually builds a sense of tension and anticipation throughout the track. It's the kind of tune that naturally gets your head nodding along with the beat. Lyrically, it isn't especially complex. Instead, the vocals take on a more repetitive, almost ritualistic quality, which actually works really well within the hypnotic feel of the track. And again, this repetitive vocal style is a theme that you see repeated throughout the album, but it isn't something that gets boring. Instead, it's a style that almost complements the sound and character that they're going for within the music and the different tracks. So the reason I wanted to make this video is for those of you who are curious about good music that's being released right now, particularly music that sits somewhere between different genres and influences. If you enjoy artists that blur the lines between jazz, hip-hop, soul and R&B, then this one is definitely worth checking out. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to continue hanging out with me here on the channel, I'll pop a video in the corner for you to click on now. Other than that, I'd like to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.